Hi, I'm Jill Hart, also known as the Get Her Done Gal. I have started and run businesses for over 40 years, all while raising a family. On the surface, it might seem like starting a part-time business would be simple, but there are so many hidden pitfalls that can make the process frustrating and time-consuming. That's where I come in. With my wealth of experience and resources and the community and support system, I can help you avoid these pitfalls and level out that learning curve. So if you're looking to turn your passion into a profitable side hustle, you're in for a treat. My goal is to help you get focused and find the time to start your own business. So raise your hand if you want to start your own 5-figure side gig and still have time for your family. And raise your hand if you wouldn't mind making a few extra $1,000 a month while you're at it. Awesome, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Turn Your Passion into Profit Strategies workshop. If you want to take a minute and share where you're from in the chat, I realize that this is a recorded video, but you might want to connect with some of the other people that are in the group and letting them know where you're from. Maybe you'll run into somebody that's near you and you can connect that way. I do want to acknowledge you for being here today because it takes a lot of courage and commitment to carve out time in your busy life to focus on getting started creating a business. I'd love to give you all a double high five for being here. So if your camera's off, turn it on so we can all see each other. That's for you. I'm going to get a little vulnerable with you here. Even though I'm known as the Get Her Done Gal, and I've written a book and developed a coaching course to help women design a life they want to live and make a living from it, there was a time when I struggled terribly with finding my purpose. I was homeschooling the last of my 5 children and wanted desperately to make enough money so that my husband, who didn't have to drive a truck and be gone all the time. You see, we had lost pretty much everything during the crash of 2008. Our home that we were living in, 2 rental houses, the truck my husband was using to support us as an owner operator for a major trucking company. And on top of that, we were suffering under some pretty staggering medical bills because of medical issues of 2 of my kids. As a result, we moved into a tiny house that we could barely afford with the income my husband was now making, hauling cars for a much smaller, locally owned company. He was still gone all the time, but making about a quarter of the money he made as a trainer and owner operator. I was basically raising 3 kids on my own and so broke. There were many nights I would wake up in a cold sweat, my heart's pounding, I was unable to catch my breath, fearful of what was going to happen next and how we were going to make ends meet. It got so bad, I was honestly thinking of ending it all. I felt worthless and hopeless. Eventually, I was faced with a choice: get help, figure it out, or just end it all. Continuing in the situation wasn't an option. And I did get help. I found that as I stepped out in faith, just taking the next logical step, the universe or God kept putting the next step in front of me. The right person, the right course, the right book, or the right coach would be right there. All I needed to do was keep reaching out and taking the next step forward. It was scary sometimes because honestly, I'd spend money and not know if I would really benefit from what I'd spent that money on. Sometimes I'd spend a lot of money. To me at the time, that every time I invested in myself, I'd grow. I found the universe was conspiring to help me. As I took the next logical step, the ground would rise up to meet me. Today, my husband is home. My kids are all launched and amazing human beings, contributing to making the world a better place. And I make a comfortable living doing what I'm passionate about, which is helping busy moms who are struggling to find their purpose, make a living and a difference pursuing their passion. In this quick little workshop, you'll discover how to reclaim 5 hours a week without sacrificing your family. As you can imagine, I can't teach you everything I know about starting a business in the short time we have together. So for those of you who are really dedicated to making an income, doing what you love, I'll share more about how we can continue to work together. I believe that every single person here can create a 5-figure side gig, but in order to do that, you need to believe in yourself. So to help you become that, I'm going to invite you to affirm my core message for this little workshop, which is, I can do this. All right, go ahead and say this with me. I can do this. I would love for you to write in the chat when it comes to starting a business. Where are you now and where do you want to be in a year? Many of you may think that you don't have time to start a business because you don't even know where to begin or how to find the time to make a plan. And I would imagine you'd want to know exactly what to do to carve out time to know how to start a side gig and where to start. So that's why I'm going to show you how to find time, even if you don't think you have any. When I first started out, I was busy. I was homeschooling 3 kids and managing a homestead and trying to figure out how to create a side gig in my almost non-existent spare time. I stumbled across this strategy and it helped me be able to get more done in less time, and found that, as my add many greats in front of this, great uncle Benjamin Franklin said, for every minute spent in organizing, an hour is earned. And yes, he really is my great uncle. The biggest myth is that in order to get a lot done, you need a lot of time. Well, this is the old model of thinking. Today, things can get done faster and more effectively, quicker than ever before. We can all find 15-minute chunks of time in our day, right? So here's what you do. You use a timer and plan when those 15 minutes will happen. If you can find 3 15-minute chunks of time, 5 days a week, to focus on building your business, that's almost 5 hours a day, or 5 hours a week. Not 5 hours a day. The secret is doing those 15 minutes. During those 15 minutes, you need to focus on specific things that will forward your momentum and actually build the business. With a limited amount of time, you need to know exactly what you need to be doing in each session. Having a plan, knowing what you need to do, is crucial to creating a successful side gig to be able to make progress in only 30 to 45 minutes a day. As a person who's accomplished a lot of big projects and built businesses from the ground up, I've created a coaching program that will have you knowing what to do specifically in those 15-minute blocks each time you sit down to work. How does that sound? When I was struggling with trying to find a way to make some extra money around my many obligations, I thought I'd be stuck with being broke forever and that I would never get my husband home. So I think it might be helpful to share about my client, Dawn, who was also raising a child and whose husband was also a trucker. When Dawn came to me, she was struggling with finding her purpose. She was skeptical about working with me because she didn't have any idea where to start or what to do, and she didn't have a lot of time. Recently, Dawn shared how she was able to write her first novella and is now building a life coaching practice. It's stories like these that give me so much passion about my work. But even though I've had decades of experience, I still feel a little nervous and a bit vulnerable about inviting you to continue this journey with me. But I'm also passionate about this work. And so I'm so committed to helping you create a 5-figure side gig that you can work around your family, that I'm going to not let my personal fears stop me from sharing my gifts with you. So with that in mind, would it be okay if I share with how we can continue to work together? Awesome. Today, I've shared a powerful strategy to move you closer to finding time to create your business. But to get all the way there, it's going to take more than a few-minute workshop. Unfortunately, creating a plan and implementing it to actually build your business is probably not going to happen by itself. 6 months from now, I don't want you to still be wondering how to get started. And 1 year from now, I really don't want you to be wondering how much different your life would be now if you'd just gotten started. I want you to share your gifts with the world so that you can feel significant and your life can be lived to its fullest because you're doing the work you were meant to be doing. This is for you if it's important for you to start making money in the next 3 or 4 months. If it's not important to you, then there's no need to consider moving forward with this. In one private session together, we'll explore where you are right now when it comes to creating a business and pursuing your passion, and where you want to be financially in the next 3 to 12 months. And then I'll make some personalized recommendations to support you to move forward immediately. I call this the Passion to Profit Breakthrough Session. We'll meet on Zoom, and my schedule is pretty booked, so I highly recommend securing your session time today. Some of my colleagues charge as much as $1,000 an hour for this type of work. This might sound like a big investment, but there's a huge cost to still not doing what you were created to do. 1 year from now, if this hasn't changed, it could cost you literally tens of thousands of dollars because you haven't gotten the exact details to create a plan that works for you doing what you want to do. My rates are only $500 per session. However, because my intention is to make it affordable for you to get a plan together to create your own business, and I feel so passionately about this work that I'm going to do something that's quite crazy. If creating a business around what you're passionate about is really important to you, I want to match your commitment by gifting you with a Passion to Profit breakthrough coaching session. My only request is that if you get a lot out of the session, that you share my work with other people. During this session, my intention will be to do everything I can to support you to move closer to building a business that brings you fulfillment and contributes to the you world order, where you're contributing to the change you want to see in the world. Toward the end of our time together, if it seems that I can support you further, I may invite you to join my Ignite Passion to Profit coaching program, if it seems like it might be a good fit. I have 5 spots on my schedule this week. So if this is resonating with you, I invite you to grab one of those spots as quickly as possible. I'll post my link in the chat. And for those of you who will be joining me to move closer to getting your 5-figure side hustle up and running, it will be my honor to support you more deeply. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to continue this journey with you.